shoulders, there we go, and my spine always create that letter T, like a cross. Now, my shoulders can do various things. So if you imagine that this is sitting on top of my hips, and I can do one thing, I'm leaning forward, so I have to control that angle. This is where most people go wrong. And as I said to you earlier, if your back is bent like this, it's no good. You're trying to get your back straight. And if it's like that, it's going to create an awful lot of other problems in rotation. So we need to keep that nice and straight. And it leans forward and it's gauging which is the correct angle for you. Now, that changes a little bit with height and how long you are, but basically you're leaning forward, letting the arms just stand there, relax, but keeping the back straight, clearing the back side. From the front, when you lean forward, you'll also notice that this shoulder is discreetly slightly lower than the other one. So, and to get this shoulder lower, I just lean my spine slightly a minute or 2 minutes before midday. And I start in that position. And then the secret is basically to just rotate the body round. Now when I rotate, if I stood it up straight and I had them nice and straight, and I turn these back like that, they stay, the shape doesn't change. The T shape doesn't change. Even if I'm going through the shot, it doesn't change. And then from there, even if I'm leaning forward, it shouldn't change. So when I'm rotating, it goes back, my shoulders stay flat and in a line, and same here on the way through. Now we're starting at a slight angle and forward. So when I rotate, it still doesn't change. And this is where a lot of people get this wrong. They start pushing their shoulders down. They get this movement where the shoulders go like this, or they go like this during the impact. In one of the videos I'm going to show you, you'll see that happening. The shoulders going up like this, and it's not turning through. And this shouldn't change. The balance between your shoulder line is always the same. So if you lean forward and you turn, this shoulder now is higher than that one, because it's the angle I'm leaning at. And it hasn't changed that position. The same also when I'm leaning forward and going through, now this shoulder is lower than that one. But at some point we have to straighten back up and come back up into our position, natural position. So it's always trying to hold this T. Yes, I set my spine at a small angle. Yes, I do lean forward, and it's very, very important to keep that angle as well. More important maybe than the others. It will help if your posture's good and you've got a good bend in your knees, as I've mentioned. But when you turn, that T shouldn't change. And when it comes down, bang, you're back to where you were. Shoulders slightly lower, spine maybe at that same angle, maybe move forward slightly, back at impact. You can move it towards the ball, create a little bit of generation, then through, and now the shoulders lower again, and then round and out and up and straight. So if you always can imagine that T there, that position in that angle, so when I turn and I create the turn, I'm in that point there, it hasn't changed, bang, back to where I started from, through and out. And it's only at the very end when I come straight up and out. Always imagine that. And from this angle, same thing, turning, creating the T. It hasn't pushed down, it hasn't pushed up. It doesn't change in that way, which is, as I said to you earlier, it's a lot of people, especially if you start getting your hips out sideways or you get this movement. And to answer the question from my friend in Colorado, yes, this is what happens. If you move the body, if you move this whole section forward as you're trying to hit the ball, hence, oh, you lose your balance. Do that. You've got to wait for it, hit it, turn with it, and finish the swing in balance.